What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. I've not done one of these in quite some time. We're gonna do a full ab routine. These are gonna be kind of intermediate to advanced exercises for your abs. It's gonna be a good core workout though, so if you get a chance to try this, definitely comment below and let me know what you thought about it and if you've ever seen these exercises before. So let's get to it. First exercise is gonna be a barbell rollout. It also works if you have one of those little ab rollers. That's great. If you don't have access to one and you're in a home gym like me, this is what I like to do in its place. So get a nice grip on the barbell. I like to be able to bring the barbell about 4 fingers close to my body. So you're always in this position with the barbell. So your core is always hollow. It's getting away from me. I'm gonna roll forward as far as your shoulders will allow. Forward, 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 forward. If you can get your chest to the ground, great. And come back up. The whole time, your core is engaged and it's hollow. So it's gonna look like this. Back down. Now, if you're feeling it in your shoulders or you feel like your core is not staying hollow, only go down as far as you feel like you can. So if like this is all you got before you start to lose it, give it a pause and come back in. It's a little modified version, okay? So like nice, feeling it, pause, come back in. And again, if you can go all the way, go for it. Make sure with all these ab movements, you're breathing. That's one of my favorites. Definitely challenging, forces you to keep a hollow core the whole time. Anytime you can keep that nice hollow core, it's gonna be a really good exercise. I wanna try and do a good job at explaining the difference between hollow and what I mean by sagging your stomach, if you will. So a hollow position is when you're in the top of a plank and this feels almost like bowed this way, slightly, very slightly, okay? So you're very engaged. This is a good plank position. When you start to see somebody kind of drop at the hip, it's also bad for your back, but when you're on that rollout, if you start to feel your body go into this position, sagging, you can kind of see my body do that here. That's where I don't want you to be. I want you to be here, where you're nice and engaged in that core. Probably better if I show you on this side. So you can kind of see that upwards arch, okay? So when you come all the way out, you're still holding that nice arch position. You're not here, okay? I hope that helps. With an explanation of the hollow position, comment below if you need me to answer any more questions on that. That's gonna be really important. Okay, next exercise. If you have access to a rack, you can take it off the rack. I'm just gonna do it here because this is how I always do it. It's called a wiper. So think of a windshield wiper going back and forth. What we're gonna do is bring our feet down and up all the way to the side. My goal here is to hit the plate. A modified version would be aiming towards the plate, not quite hitting it, okay? So I'm gonna show you what I mean. I usually just use my hips to get the bar up. So you're basically in the top of a bench press here. Feet are starting about 6 inches off the ground, bringing your foot to the plate and making that contact. Trying to stabilize the bar. So this is the full version. When I give this to somebody that I feel like can handle it, one of my clients, I'll tell them to aim for the plate. They might not get all the way there, but we're aiming and we're twisting our hips just enough to feel it in your obliques. And that's gonna be challenging as well. Another modified version would be if you have a hard time stabilizing the bar, you can just come straight up, pop the hip off the ground. This is also gonna be good for your core. You're just not targeting your obliques here. Again, to the side, hitting the plate every time is gonna give you that exaggerated stimulus in your obliques. Whew. Remember that hollow position. This is gonna be really important here too. There's also 2 ways you could do this exercise. It's a pull through, okay? So you're gonna be in a plank. You can do a bear crawl plank, which means your knees are about 6 inches above the ground, or you could do a regular plank, okay? I'm gonna do a regular plank. So the dumbbell is gonna start outside of my hands, kind of right underneath my chest. So I'm pulling through. The further you reach, the better it's gonna be, the harder it's gonna be, okay? So you're gonna start here, that nice hollow position. We're not sagging. Again, we're hollow. You're gonna grab and move the dumbbell as far as you can to the side. Reach, you're gonna feel that all the way in your obliques. Pull, and put the dumbbell down. Reach, other side, okay? Now, it's a little bit more challenging if you hold that bear crawl position. Another thing I want you to remember too, sometimes we get a little sloppy, but try and stack your shoulder over your wrist to keep your shoulders safe and stable. You're here, pull through, and pull through. Trying to keep those knees no more than 6 inches above the ground. You are gonna feel this in your core. And again, you should still be hollow in your stomach. It's a lot of things to remember here. That's why I said this is a little bit more complex movements. Okay, last one. Again here, the further you bring that dumbbell, the more challenging it's gonna be, because now you have to reestablish your base, reach, lift, and pull. Establish your base, staying right over your shoulders, reach, and pull. Give that a try, let me know what you think. My clients refer to this as the purple ball of death. There's quite a few things I do with this, and the ball's purple, so I think it's hysterical when I see a grown man cry using my purple ball. This exercise is going to hit your hip flexors and again your core. It is a ball pass through. So hands to feet, feet to hands is 1, so 2 is 1. We're gonna start fully extended, feet are 6 inches above the ground at all times. Again, I can't repeat this enough. You're starting here with the ball in your hands. What am I? Hollow again. So you're gonna start here, 6 inches above the ground. Bring your feet up, shoulders off the ground. Catch the ball with your feet. Come down, touch, hands and feet. Hands and ball rather. And back up. Up and down. Like I said, 2 is 1. Hands to feet, feet to hands is 1. You'll feel these real quick. The catch with these, if you can keep your legs nice and straight, you're gonna get more out of them. I'm hollow the whole time on this exercise. If you can get up to 15 to 20 reps, you're gonna really feel this exercise. It is definitely one of my favorites because you can do this, you can even do this with no ball. I'll show you what that looks like real quick, but you're gonna be here, reach for your feet, and back down. So it's kind of like a V-up, basically. The ball adds a little bit more need for stability, and it slows you down a little bit, which I like because I wanna see, just like any other body part, you really wanna contract the muscles, and that pause when you're switching from feet to hands in midair is where that pause comes into play. All right, last exercise we're gonna do. Again, can't emphasize this enough. If you learned anything today, hollow is the most important thing that you need to remember when doing these exercises. So it's going to be a plank, and we're gonna pull the ball in and out. So it's going to look like this. You're gonna roll your feet in and back out, slow and controlled. Again, holding that hollow position. Feet come all the way in and back out. Again, just like with the dumbbell, shoulders are stacked right over my wrists. This is definitely one of the more complicated exercises because you're working on stabilizing that plank, keeping the core hollow, and then driving your legs in and out so there is mobility on the ball. Trying to keep those hips up. But that's 5 really good core exercises. My core is feeling it. Really doing one set of each to show you guys some of my favorite exercises. I hope you guys like this workout. Comment below if you have any questions, and I will see you guys on the next one.